Never forget, even for an instant, the one and only reason anybody has for taking your gun away is to make you weaker than he is, so he can do something to you that you wouldn't allow him to do if you were equipped to prevent it. This goes for burglars, muggers, and rapists, and even more so for policemen, bureaucrats, and politicians. This quote from the novel Hope explains that no matter what the affirmative says that makes guns look bad, it is your basic right under the Second Amendment to protect yourself from criminals who will do harm to defenseless citizens. It doesn't matter if you're a law-abiding citizen. High-profile criminals are not, and they will not follow these restrictions. By taking away even more privately owned guns, the government is taking away the last defense for citizens to defend themselves. Our opponents may suggest that this is what the police are for, however one notices that the police are not on command. According to a recent article in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, major urban areas such as Atlanta and Detroit, police take an average of 11 minutes to respond. If a person manages to call 911, the criminal can still do a lot of harm in 11 minutes. In addition, most gun crimes are committed with illegal guns. Our opponents state all these statistics, but they never mention the legality. Laws.com reports that in the Kansas City experiment, a number of police officers in the inner city of Kansas City were put entirely on the duty of eliminating illegal firearms. After 29 weeks of heightened activity against illegal firearms, the rates of gun crimes in the part of the city monitored decreased significantly, by almost 50%. The National Institute of Justice survey showed that offenders have found that they prefer newer guns, but may steal or borrow them. Most, however, acquire guns off the street, through the illicit gun market. Clearly, the problem lies with the legal gun owners, and not the few students that privately own guns. In addition, as my partner stated, guns are just tools. As the old Latin saying goes, a sword never kills anybody, the tool in the killer's hand does. The FBI reports that in 2008, guns killed 66% of murder victims. That leaves another one-third of deaths caused by other means, including knives. This shows that even if an increase in gun restrictions does manage to reduce the amount of gun crimes, they will still resort to other methods, including knives and other weapons. Our third contention is that these restrictions will hurt the already low budgets of major urban areas. Major cities such as New York and Los Angeles have debts of $2 billion and $438 million, respectively, the Guardian Weekly states. By increasing law enforcement, which is needed for the opponent's plan to carry out, this puts an even bigger strain on the budget. How are the police going to check every household for gun ownership? Licensed gun sales provide many jobs for U.S. citizens. Guns are purchased for recreational purpose, as our opponents state. But where do you draw the line? Are hunting rifles also considered potential murder weapons? Obviously, more gun restrictions is not realistic, as the government has already imposed enough restrictions without violating the Second Amendment. The status quo does not need to change, as our opponent's first contention states that murder rates will increase with more crimes. However, that is the opposite. That, according to the FBI 2009 Uniform Crime Report, states, considering 5 and 10-year trends, the 2009 estimated violent crime total was 5.2% below the 2005 level and 7.5% below the 2000 level. 2010 preliminary annual report shows cities with populations of 250,000 to 499,000 to have a 6.9% drop of violent crimes. During this time, gun sales have also been at an all-time high. According to the data from the FBI's NICS, 2009 was the best year on record for gun sales, with 14 million sales. So how does this work for the opponent's first contention? This provides evidence for the fact that bearing arms does deter gun crimes. Criminals are less likely to commit a murder if their own life is at risk. Instead, opponent's plan suggests more advanced background checks and more exams. However, this does not go with, as my partner states, the definition of adding more regulations. This is just enforcing the current restrictions and not adding new ones. Thus, we propose also that a good background check system. However, this is not a new restriction, this is just enforcing. Also, most murders have a motive for killing. A normal person like you and me would not do. A famous English philosopher, John Locke, proposed tabula rasa, which means that all humans are born in a blank state, ergo all humans are created equal. This means that outside influences stimulate one's actions. Many influences have not been mentioned in our opponent's arguments. They state the Tucson shooting and the Virginia Tech, but they never mention the motives. So why not attack the motives instead of the guns? By stimulating the urban area economy, more jobs can be provided, which in turn would reduce the need to commit these crimes. Another reason people commit crimes is because they were poorly educated. Most humans take in ideas at an early age. Thus, if we can provide a gun safety program in schools nationwide, this would reduce the amount of potential criminals. Such ideas are more realistic because there are already programs for drugs and alcohol, such as DARE. In conclusion, the basic point is that the few criminals in our population, not law-abiding citizens, commit the violent crimes. It does not benefit to add more restrictions simply because it only affects the citizens. Criminals will just get their weapons off the streets, and this leaves the poor citizen unable to defend himself. Instead, we propose to attack the criminal directly by more advanced background checks and eliminating outside influences. By taking out the influence, there will be fewer criminals and therefore fewer gun crimes. Thank you. That's why you should vote Neg.
Okay. Can you time 2 minutes so that we know when time to break is?
Oh, yeah.
There's like 20 questions with 5 points each.
Yeah, Cole scored 2 goals for us and they went to really?